Hello then. Hello, how's it going everyone? We good?
Yeah.
That's better, come on then.
This is amazing to see everyone in the room. I'm quite blown away, to be honest. Gal, how are you feeling?
I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but feeling good about it. So
Not
thanks.
nervous at all?
Not nervous at all, no, we do this all the time. Just with loads of faces looking at us now, so... So thanks for coming along to the first ever SKapade live show. This is proper exciting because we're celebrating 5 years of the studio running, which...
5 years, wow.
That makes no sense.
Cheers,
big part of that, Claire, as well.
I heard a wee woo there.
That's enthusiasm. So tonight is a total open format. I mean, we are here to have a bit of fun. We're here to bring some industry professionals to the table so you guys can pick their brain, so we can pick their brain, have a bit of banter, have a bit of fun, but mainly just we want you guys to get involved in any way possible. Obviously, not pure shouting out every single second, but if you can get involved and you've got questions, make sure that you get something there because we will, throughout the night, get kind of questions from you guys and stuff.
Absolutely. It's like, as we're trying to bring the podcast to life, I met a couple of guys there that had listened to the podcast on iTunes there.
Legends.
And I was like, wow, that's amazing, really, isn't it? iTunes.
It's weird. It is weird. And again... tonight is about being a little bit, inspirational and trying to encourage everyone in the room here that is on a musical journey, no matter where you're at. It's like, see if you just grind away at it, you don't know what might happen. Fast forward 5 years, we're accredited by Pioneer DJ now, which is mental. We've got the new mixer in here with
the
Sam.
V10.
By the way, shouts out to Sam. A wee round of applause for that set there. Amazing. He was proper prepped for it. He just get told when he got here. But it's been quite a special journey. So we just really wanted to share that with you in a live format because it's like everyone in this room and then people online have really helped us grow and kind of do something we love every day. So it's pretty mental.
So shall we get into a wee bit of how SKapade all really started in the first place? So, I mean,
Yep.
Claire here, sitting in the front row, I went to the Princess Trust with this big idea of teaching music. So I basically had two clients. Well, clients didn't even really know they were called clients at the time.
No, it was just two guys wanting
to learn how to make tunes, really. And I was in my mum's bedroom. Not my mum's bedroom. My bedroom in my mum's house. That's a bit weird, isn't it? In my mum's bedroom.
It's a good sound in there.
Aye.
Is it curtains or something?
So I was in my mum's house in my bedroom, right? And I had clients coming round to the door while she's hoovering outside and all that, and I'm like, right, okay, there's maybe a wee opportunity to take this a little bit more serious. So I went on the lookout in Dumbarton to try and find a wee unit to, do the craft, to work on music and also like kind of teach and try and get a wee business going. Big gal and me, we've been friends for 12 years or something like that.
Aye, mental.
Best mates for about 12 years, aye. And, going through that time, it was like we were always together, always working together, always wanted to do something with each other. And
well, that came later, Kat. We've decided we weren't into it. But we'll keep our friendship going.
Aye. So I got a hold of a gal and I was like, do you fancy coming and give me a hand to build something here? I was brewing up. Fucking hell, what am I talking about?
This is going to turn into a mental thing tonight, mate. Everybody, let's get pissed, man.
So I was brewing up a wee idea and gal being gal came in and he was like, look, I'm up for leaving my job. I'm actually on the train home. I've just left my job. Get the kettle on. And from there, really, we just started growing something. I looked into kind of running a program for youngsters to learn music and, kind of give back something that wasn't there for me growing up. Because, to try and learn music production when I was trying to learn, there was nobody really willing to help you out. You had to get into Glasgow, and even at that, it was quite cliquey. And I thought, well, look, if we can provide something from that point, let's try and do it. So we got our first program off the ground, and it kind of really went from there, didn't it?
I mean, just kind of chiming off the back of that. So, like, yes, good friends. And always, like, the weird thing is about how me and Stephen met, it was through other mutual friends of ours. And they kept saying, for some weird reason, like, you guys need to meet. I know you are going to bounce off each other well because we're both musical. I was writing lyrics and things like that and singing. And they were like, he's a producer, DJ guy. He was in the year above me at school. So we never spoke throughout school at all. And it wasn't until our groups of pals just kept saying, you two need to meet, and then we did, we clicked, and from there it was like, we were on the guitar, we were making tunes, we were just doing anything possibly creative, and just having absolute nonsense chat all the time. And fast forward, as Stephen says, he'd kicked off, he had 2 clients, coming into his mom's room.
My mom's bedroom.
What kind of clients? And so from there, though, it was like I was working in sales, and you know I do like to get chatting, and I'm quite a people's person. So for there, it was like, do you fancy coming on board, helping me dealing with some of this? Maybe we could grow into something. And at the time, I was working in a call centre in a job I hated, like, you know, every other job I'd done before. So I was just like looking for anything. I was like, cool, let's do it. I'm up for it. And we started off in like £200, £300 a month, like completely scraping by, and just saying, look, if we can make more than that, great. But
it's
if
just,
not,
it was just doing it was the thing that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Even being skint was like,
we didn't care about
doesn't
that,
matter,
you know,
really.
as long as we could cover a phone bill and a wee something to eat, you know what I mean? We were like on literally water and sandwiches for about, I don't know, about 6
Still?
months. Still sometimes. And it's just one of these things that's grown organically. We just totally put our passion into it. And that's the first thing everybody in this room needs to do. The first thing is just actually believing in yourself, other than thinking about, I need to know every detail. Because there's people out there doing stuff that you might want to do that probably know half of what you do, but they've got the confidence, and vice versa. There's people that know everything and they're sitting in their room because they've not got the confidence. So I think marrying that together, it just kind of blossomed. And
one of the things we actually had, like kind of law of attraction stuff, we put it on the board, Pioneer DJ. And funnily enough, that's what we're here celebrating is, 5 years of business, but being accredited and fully kind of supported by Pioneer DJ. So even when we were skint on the sandwiches and water,
we were writing that on the whiteboard.
We were writing that up there just like, because it felt good. Do you know what I mean? Like just write up, it's like writing up your favourite label or something you want to get signed to, just write it up there and you see it every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just, there's a few other things we wrote up there that haven't games around anyway. Probably going to share the night, actually, but I think it's one of these exciting things that we just enjoyed having a bit of fun and going, and just believed and went, you know what, man, like, if we don't try or just force, like, what are we going to say? Like, we wish we did, but we never ever bothered. So we did. So, actually going through it, it's weird, like, looking, so we, weirdly, down the bottom right, you can see we've done a presentation at the Hydro, right? Which for us is just like, when we get that call up, man, if we thought we were nervous tonight, that we were unbelievably freaking out about that. But it just kind of shows the mark of the journey, because you can see here it was like a derelict room. And it was your radio, it was a radio station before, wasn't it? It was a radio
station before that I had a radio show on, and I had 1 month's rent to pay it. And the guy's like, look, I'll do you a deal for a year. And it looked terrible, like it really did. John Lang, who's sitting here, helped us out a lot at the time as well. We all kind of clubbed together, all just came in and goes, right, let's try and make something of this. And it was, you could drive a car into it, it was Baltic.
You could see your breath.
Still is Baltic. And it's came on, from that picture there to the middle one is kind of the booth. And even now, actually, with the Pioneer back, and we've got a majorly upgraded setup from that now. So
very kind. And then even there, we get invited to Buckingham Palace, and it was like, you shouldn't have let us into Buckingham Palace, man. Like, we're absolutely mental. But the thing is, none of this is to blow our own trumpet or anything like that. It really isn't. It's just to show we're a couple of normal guys, like everyone in here, that have just basically just wanted and grafted, man. Like, we literally are 7 days non-stop. Sometimes we're at each other's throats, sometimes we're not, and that goes for the whole team, but the team all get it, and it's a sort of wonderful team that's developed over the last few years. And now, even as it started off just Stephen trying to give people music production tips and lessons, and it's now developed into something mental and weird and something that we really enjoy, and we do stuff like this now as well, and this is our first one, so this is pretty historic. One thing I want to mention as well is I do please encourage you to share tonight and get pictures. This is the first one we've ever done, so this is pure special for us.
We've got a wee hashtag on the go.
Because obviously you've got to do that, you know what I mean? So hashtag Escapade Live, and make sure you tag all the guys. And remember, we've got a stellar lineup. Yous are getting totally spoiled tonight. Never mind, just getting to hear from me and Stephen. But, you know, it's grown into something crazy. And again, we're just so, you know, in awe that you guys are here tonight, and we're really, really grateful for it.
So honestly, thanks everyone for coming in. There's some more people arriving up there, so great.
Yes.
Come on in and grab a seat if you can.
If you can.
I see Jack out there.
I see Jack. I see James, another big part of the studio as well, and you know these guys have been crucial in helping us grow. So now, even moving forward, again, one of the definite dream for us for the nonsense, we used to make like ridiculous videos and stuff. You know, was getting involved with the BBC, and that happened last year. And we've done our first BBC social video, and we've got a couple more in the pipeline, which is pretty exciting. And it's like, you know, I look at some of these brands now, how it's developed over the years, with Pioneer DJ being right in the middle. Yes, that wasn't mentoring, and but really, it's weird to be in this position, you know. It's like, and again, it's just through solid working every day, and I know that's what you'll probably hear a lot, but there really is nothing else for it.
Another thing here you can see is some of the partners that we work with. So
couple in the room, by the way.
Aye, sure is. Aye, Young Enterprise Scotland are here,
yes,
brilliant
legends.
A big part of our work is as I said, giving back and giving that opportunity back to like groups of youngsters. You know, whether they've got like educational needs or, you know, anything really. We've worked with every type of, you know, young person across Scotland. So very proud of what we do on that front. You know, it's
Massively.
a very rewarding side of what it is we do as well. So
yeah, and we work with lots of care homes, charities, all sorts of stuff. And to be honest, it was one of the first things that we launched the whole studio with. It was like, that was the intention we wanted to come out with, was like giving back. Because if you can light up somebody's day, even if one person out of 200, if you can light up their day, you've done something really special there. And it started off by doing talks in schools, and I remember like the first talk we done, it's like me and Stephen have a bit of a running joke where we'll always like kid on we're backing out of something at the last minute, you know. So like even tonight we'll be like, well, good luck, I'm sure you got on fine tonight, and we're like, what do you mean I need your run? I'm not doing it tonight. So like we've kind of kept that silliness going, you know. And I remember like doing the first school talks, it's like we were really shine to put it lightly, and we were like pushing each other in. And, you know, that feeling of having some young people coming up at the end that were maybe too scared to ask questions, like some of you might be tonight if we get some questions. I know it gets a bit daunting when you're in front of other people, but I do encourage you to don't worry about that. Everyone in this room is brand new. We know some faces, we don't know yous all, so that's also awesome that there's people that, you know, we might not, and they follow us online and stuff, which is cool. What we got here then? Some cool gigs that we've done.
My favourite being at the top of the Titan Crane in Clydebank, actually. On the bottom left there.
Come on, no many people can say they've played up the top of a crane. And we live streamed it.
In November, in Clydebank.
Aye, it was just after ADE, so we were very tender. And we got one of our friends up as well, Will Atkinson, and he ended up actually dropping his USB down 300 foot down, but it actually landed on one of the beams.
Landed on a little ledge.
So we could all see it, but you couldn't get it.
It's probably still there, actually.
It's probably still, not with that wind tonight, but... and then moving there, I mean, for me, biggest one is me and Stephen playing at Riverside last year on the 40 Clothing stage, and for me personally, like, you know, I'm a good few years behind Stephen on the DJ front, you know, I look up to this guy, best mate, and like, you know, he's believed in me in that sense, so for me to then have played a set at something like Riverside as well was a big moment. Never mind, I've seen him smash it in Ibiza and all that and do all that. So that was definitely awesome. And again, I never thought that opportunity would happen for me. So it's just like, you just put yourself in the position. You don't know what might happen, you know. And we do churn out a lot of content. So that's definitely an important thing.
So there's some pictures of Big Gal in action.
It's just me in action. Aye. There are other people on the team, by the way, right? It's just because I'm the good-looking one they use me. So, but down there's in the studio. So not only do we have people in the studio, but we are out and about. That's me at Young Enterprise Scotland with some of the amazing team over there. us in primary schools, high schools. The weirdest thing as well, right, is like we're working with primary schools, high schools, colleges, universities. Both me and Stephen have never graduated, right? We've only ever watched other people graduate. And we're doing stuff at like Glasgow Uni and all that. And it's like, how is that even happening? You know, like why are you allowing this to happen? But it seems to be working. And again, I think it's just because I'm really how passionate.
With internet now, though, there's just an opportunity for everyone to go and create their own thing. So I think the unis recognise that just getting real people in helps the students realise that actually it's, you know, about the real life things that you go through.
Totally.
I mean?
And I think, you know, a big mantra for us is like not taking ourselves too serious, you know, because at the end of the day, man, it's like life is a short thing. We may as well have a positive time while we're here. It's easy to stress ourselves out all the time, but really it's ourselves that give the self the stress. So this was a strange one. Jesus Christ, nah. I mean, where do you start?
I don't know.
With that?
I think you just leave it up there.
I mean, where do you start with that? I think, right, firstly, we'll get on to Nicola. Prince Charles, right, floated into the room through a puff of smoke. And one thing I will say, his fingers were like a pack of Richmond sausages, man. Like, I was just looking for a grill, man. But that was so weird to have met Prince Charles. And again, obviously being in Scotland, right, you can't like the two of those figures there. Like, you just can't. It's either one or the other, right? So we definitely get mixed reviews on our pages that week. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, man. The other one, oh, no harm, man. You know? So you can't win, but for us, we were just playing the game. Exposure is one of the main things you can do. Getting eyes, getting attention on your brand. And we were reading books early on, guys like Grant Cardone and Gary Vaynerchuk and all this stuff. And, you know, these Americans were teaching us all these stories about, you know, sales and getting attention. So we've always kind of led with that. And that just so happened to happen. I don't know why she didn't put her full hand on the decks. She just wanted to use her index fingers, but she's the leader of the country. She can do what she wants. But that picture went viral for us as well. So we really, over 9 million people seen that picture. Like, our page really, really blew up after that. It was pretty mental.
No.
And even the Prince Charles one was like, you know, millions of people. And like now with Facebook and lots of people in here are artists or trying to be or have pages. You know what it's like with reach now. It's like they're really limiting a lot. You know, they just want you to pump so much money into it. Whereas then the organic reach was insane, wasn't it? Then the show.
Okay, so we're getting kicked on then.
So this is the show. So I mean, if you've seen the podcast, now I know a few people said they'd heard it and that, which is awesome. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I please ask you to do that right now. Take your phones out right now, everyone, right, and do it now. No, but if you haven't, please do. Here's some of the amazing guests we've had. Now, these are every walk of life here, and we've continually trying to grow and bring more in. Chris Kyle being a sponsored Red Bull BMXer, top 10 BMXer in the world. We had him on when he jumped a helicopter in Dubai onto a ramp and rode a water park that had been drained of water at 6 a.m, sponsored by Red Bull, and that mental. You've got Caroline Tyler, who...
She's a nutritionist, aye. So
a nutritionist,
the point in that one is like looking after yourself and, you know, how that's related to productivity and stuff. So we dialed into that on that podcast. Pretty interesting. Sanjeev Kohli, who aka Naveed from Still Game, which is our biggest podcast to date. I wonder why. But, you know, that was amazing. And then not only that, we've had, you know, Harvey Mackay, we've had Gary Beck up the back, we've had loads of cool people. Darren Connell from Scott Squad, who, you know, is a BBC comedian, you know, all sorts of walks of life here. Davey Forbes as well, legend. Legend, he's we applause, it's well deserved. Definitely, and Davey's podcast is great, his partner's even better. So that is it. So really, I guess that is a nice way for us to intro our very first guest of the night, so no pressure. Mr. Gary Beck. Yeah, you sit there. We're just going to play a wee tiny clip for the podcast, right? Have you had any kind of weird emails through before that you're like, Jesus?
A guy sent me a demo that was basically I did a track called Video Siren, And the guy basically took the track video signing and sent it to me back with his name on it.
You're joking?
I was like, I just said, is this a joke? Man, he says, no, I hope you like my demo. It's a great demo, isn't it?
So, Gary Beck, troops. The one and only. So, Gary, tell us a wee bit about that, like when that happened. Like, tell us, what was your first initial thoughts when somebody had sent you your own tune back for your label?
You're off your nut, mate. You know,
what did he say? What was the reply?
Do you know, I can't really remember too much. I just remember being in shock a little bit, like, what's going on here? What are you doing with your life, mate? You know?
And it wasn't a wind-up, it was genuinely...
It seemed genuine.
Wow.
I've had a lot...
Maybe it was Harvey having a laugh.
It might have been you, Harvey. You get some strange emails, but that was definitely up there with one of the weirdest things I've ever had in my inbox.
That is pretty weird. So how long have you been going then? And like now, because you just celebrated recently the 10 years of Beck Audio, didn't you?
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be 10 years into that? Never mind how long you've been into music and DJing.
Yeah, it just flies by, you know. It's just, if you love something, it just completely... Everything goes so quickly. Beck Audio is just something I set up to put out my own stuff. And it just, like 10 years already, it's quite incredible. Sorry, I'm actually quite nervous.
Listen, it's fine.
Normally I can't see the people.
Listen, it's fine. Picture them all naked.
I don't know if that works, Gal.
Well,
I don't know where that comes from. It's slightly different from my DJ set. I'm feeling a wee bit nervous as well, and it's like usually DJ sets, heads down, cool. The music does the talking bit.
It's like Graham Norton, man.
I know.
That's it. And I just love talking nonsense, so I'm in my element now. Especially watching these two guys, because like for me, I see them smash that like on the world stage, you know, and it's funny to see them a little bit nervous for a change, you know. But as if I'm going in the DJ booth, I'm like, you know. So no, it is awesome. It is awesome, and you know, everybody here. You know, most people here are fans of either the studio or you guys as well. So do really appreciate you coming and giving up your time. And the 30 grand fee was a wee bit wide, but...
we gave you a deal.
But, you know, so 10 years have flown by. I mean, for us, I know 5 years feels like 2 weeks. Like, since the studio started, you know, and the same nonsense we're still getting, you know, and we're like, what the hell, we're 5 years into this. So tell us let's say, why don't we just break it in with you telling us a little bit why you wanted to get involved in music, what you've seen that you could bring different to the table, and sort of how it's panning out.
Well, the Arches was really influential in a lot of people's lives. At the time, I'd started buying some records and stuff, and I was into all sorts of different types of music, but my first experience of going to the Arches it changed my life. It was just everything about it, the lights, the music, it was all great, and I thought I would really want to be part of this, and I guess it was like an addiction. I was just like, I need to do this. And so I just learned as much as I possibly could, got the equipment, I saved up like pocket money, honestly. I saved up, got a couple of synths and stuff, and just got to work. And I just felt I could offer something to it. For a start, I loved it. I fell in love with it. And then as I was starting to find my own path in making music, I could tell that I had something to offer and something to give. So I just stuck in at it until like 5 in, still working away on tunes, and then I had to get up for work at like 8.
What a feeling.
Well tired, but didn't care. I just didn't care. I just had to do it.
Did you do those sessions where you went from the club straight to the studio, like packed with inspiration, or?
No, just straight to bed, man.
Straight to bed. Up to the afters.
And then I thought, like, the clubs, like when you play gigs and stuff, of course you're inspired. You know, you come back and you think that was great, and of course there's gigs where you come back and you think that was awful, and you know you're a bit low and you're kind of you're not inspired at all. But it's great when you do these gigs and you come home and you think, I just want to get straight back into the studio and make tracks and stuff like that. So
see, there's nothing quite like a night out when you're like that, oh man, I know what I need to be doing. Because you go there, especially just as a punter originally, and you're like so inspired by the music, or you go, do you know what, I feel like I could do that, I think I've got something, and it's always after that weekend buzz. But the difference is you carried it through. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people, you know, they lack. Unfortunately, not everyone can do it. And it's kind of like you go a night out and go, I need to get to the gym, man. Everybody's ripped, man, I need to get to the gym. And you're on the gym. But, so the difference is you done that.
And
you
the thing is, like, the amount of knockbacks, it was unbelievable for me. It was like constant knockbacks, sending away demos just all the time. Relentless. But for some reason, I had this thing in me that just wanted to keep going. I just had a feeling that something might happen. And it eventually did. And it just...
Cheers. Thank the Lord Thank the Lord.
But yeah, like knockback after knockback. A lot of people would have probably just caved in and maybe just thought, you know what, this is probably not for me. But because I loved it so much, I was just like, whatever, I'm still doing this.
I mean, I've seen you experience that plenty of times as well now, the sort of getting there, and it's like, you know, how do you feel that you manage that? Because it is tough.
I mean, the key is like, you've got to love it. Like, you'll do, you know, whatever work needed, you'll take as many knockbacks as you want because you're loving the process anyway. So it's like, as long as you're liking it and you're loving it, then you're going to just
even
roll with the punches, you know?
Like, any kind of encouragement was like great. Even an email that said, that's shite. But that was all right. You know, that was enough for me. I thought, brilliant, I'm shite, but, you know, I've still got something to work on.
Even actually getting a reply, I thought was quite inspirational. Like, they've replied with shite, but great.
They've at least, they know I exist.
They've opened my email up and they've listened. That's a start.
I mean, it's a wee tiny start. Yeah. I think it's different now, obviously, with the amount of digital music and like, it's just relentless.
Well, it's noise now, isn't it? There's so much noise in the world.
Oh, there's so much. At the time when I was starting off, I was sending away my brown envelopes, you know, and my wee CDRs, and, you know, getting a response, and it was like, wow, I can't believe this. But at the moment, it's because it's so easy to send music around, it can become overkill.
So you're running your own label then. How do you differentiate when you're looking for demos yourself? Is there particular things in tracks that you want to hear now,
do you know,
to separate it?
Well, the first thing...
the ears are perking up like that.
The first thing that gets my attention is an email that's maybe been sent, it's personalised. Like, you know, I like the label, this is what I've got, and I really hope you like it. But see, when you get a demo just saying, hi, demo, bye, I'm not going to listen to it. Do you know what I mean? If you can make that first step of just saying, you know, I like the kind of stuff you're doing, I'll listen to it.
So be personal, definitely.
Personal,
massive.
I think being personal, but...
What's, like, take us through a time of, like, because the thing is as well, I know we've experienced this, there's been times where you're sitting on a track and you're like, this is the one, man. See this track and you feel it, you know, and you're like, I think this might do really well, and then it's like you can't get it signed, or it's like it just doesn't do as well. How do you feel that you kind of work that in your head? Because maybe in your head you've been in such a good jam, and then it's like, oh man, that kind of went flat.
Well, I'll give you an example. Like, I was playing in Germany on Saturday there, and I had 5 tracks I'd done over the course of like maybe a week and a half, and I went to get them mastered. I was really excited to get them mastered. I thought they were going to be really good. The master wasn't done in time for the gig. They came in on Tuesday there, and I sat down, had a wee glass of wine. I thought, hey, I'm going to listen to them mastered, and I'm really excited about what I've done. Honestly, they were murder. Something that I had in the studio at that point last week wasn't there when I was listening to those tracks. I thought, you thought that was good, but that's really not actually very good. And I was very sad after that.
There's so much to be... There's like, so much to be said for sitting on tracks then for a wee bit. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Ideas and then putting them to the side and then coming back to them and thinking,
completely
that's
fresh.
quite good.
How long typically? Do you think you should sit on something? Is it a case of just weeks, get a good few sleeps in? And
there's stuff that's appeared in the folders from like 6 years ago. I thought, I don't remember doing that. I must have been out my nut. And then you hear it, you're like, do you know what, that is really good. And I can remember thinking at the time that wasn't very good. And then you put a few extra things into it, and then you've got a fresh new track. it's funny how it can materialise sometimes, you know.
How your perception changes per studio session of a track. Interesting.
Exactly. Aye.
So, can you take us through some of your inspirations? Because obviously the Arches is one of them, right? So, DJ-wise and music-wise, who is it that you were looking at and going, do you know what, I want to do that one day?
Laurent Garnier. Laurent Garnier was just...
Yeah!
Just the first time I saw him, obviously I knew his music before, but seeing him for the first time, he was just... It blew my mind. It was in the Arches again. And I was actually working in the Arches at the time, behind the bar. And I thought to myself, I'm going to try and go and see him, like, after he's finished his set. So I went to see him backstage. I was all nervous, and I was like, hi, Laurent, that was amazing. And we were talking about some of the vinyls, and he said, if you go and get me a drink just now from the bar, I'll give you one of my new vinyls. I was like, what? No way. So I went...
Dream come true.
So I went to the bar. I was like, quick! Bottle of wine. He wants a bottle of wine, quick. I ran all the way back up to the stage. He was gone.
No way.
He widowed you, man.
So sad.
But I see now he could have been like, I'll just airdrop you. You know what I mean? You wouldn't need to have done that. That's right.
But he's brilliant. He just plays what he likes, but he does it so well, and he's got character. And I love the way he doesn't get too involved in the whole social media game as well. He's like, he knows what it's all about. And
one of the originals, kind of keeping it real, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So have you crossed paths in the...
Yes, we shared a glass of wine at Riverside, actually.
Tell us about that, then.
No, I reminded him about that, you know.
Were you just like...
Listen, Lauren, see that?
You owe me a pint, you and a vinyl.
No, he didn't remember anything, but but yeah, just to be in his presence was great. You know.
That's awesome because we had Mallorca Lee on the podcast, who's one of the legends, you know, one of the innovators of the scene, and that's one of the things he said. He was like, you know, never meet your idols, you know. But I don't fully agree with that, because it depends. It just depends if they're a good person or not, really, doesn't it?
His idols turned out to be arseholes, though, didn't they?
I mean, sometimes aye. But it depends. It depends on who. I mean, Lawrence seemed all right, so...
He seemed all right. I remember being about 17-year-old and handed a £10 note to Judge Jules to get it signed.
I signed my tenner.
And he signed it, and I went up the road that night like, I can't believe I've got this. Jesus, I mean, no, I must have been about 16, surely. But I met him at a gig in Belfast like a few years later, and I said hello, and he just walked right past me. So, yeah.
No way. Well, that is it. And again, though, it's like artists or legends or idols or whatever are 100% people. That's all they are. And they have interests like you and me. And it's about just, you know, trying to be humble, isn't it, as well? Because especially in the rise up, you don't know who you might meet and who might become something. And if you're an arsehole to everyone, you know, by the time it comes to, Gary, can I send you a tune? You'll be like, aye, up the road. So
it's not hard to be polite, you know.
It's definitely...
It doesn't matter who you are.
It definitely isn't.
You know?
So we touched a tiny wee bit there on social media. It's the taboo. It's messing up all of our heads, right? And it's how you kind of take it, because we are seeing the rise and so many crazy things are happening, right? And everyone is comparing themselves every day on social media. And that's the saddest part, because it's not really, we're not expressing sort of how good humanity can be. We're just trying to all compare ourselves. So what are some tips and tricks for anyone that's out there that is trying to get that bit of exposure, but they are a wee bit anti-social media, but, you know, it's one of those kind of things you need to kind of get about. So what tips and tricks have you got for people to navigate through all that?
Get a fire extinguisher, blast it in your face, and get someone to film it. Yeah.
Attention, there you go. Somebody better try that.
You'll get gigs all through the month, man.
Hashtag SKapade Live, remember, right?
Seriously, I mean, it's a strange time. I mean, I know a lot of brilliant producers and DJs out there that don't have that kind of confidence with social media and are suffering. They've been in the game for a long, long time. And maybe the 2000s and that, they were playing a lot, but now they're really struggling. A lot of them are actually having to find other forms of work to get by, and it's a shame, because they've got so much more talent than a lot of DJs out there just now. But it's just it's a very difficult one. You know, social media is so influential. I find social media hard. I don't know how to play it. Sometimes I don't like posting too much. I'm just... And you know, I post something and I find myself, like, for the rest of the day, maybe thinking about that post or something. And that shouldn't be the way it is. It should be like thinking about what you're doing with your day and what you're going to make that day, and it shouldn't be about thinking of, oh shit, that didn't do that well or something. It's
because it takes you away from what you're actually trying to achieve, like the actual craft. I say that quite a bit.
You say that all the time, yeah.
It's like, the more attention you pay into the actual craft, and rather than social media and posting about what you're doing, you'll be better off in the long run.
Yeah.
It's just one of these unfortunate times that we live in, though. It's like it does.
It's a necessity to promote yourself.
Yeah, with everything, it's good and it's great in so many ways, obviously, but like this.
Well, exactly. But the thing is I look at this as a force for something positive. That we're here and we're trying to bring kind of people together and allow, because towards the end as well, obviously you've all read the schedule.
No.
At the end, we'll have some DJs playing, and it's just a wee opportunity for you guys to meet each other. Don't be shy. Ask. Everyone in this room is connected somehow through the music scene, so you don't know who you might meet in here that might end up playing one of your gigs, or you never know what might happen. So that is the cool thing about social media, but it is a nightmare. So, one of my suggestions would probably be is maybe try and reach out to one of your pals or something that's good at social media that likes it, and just try and work out something with them and say, mate, you're going to post this for me.
No, I was going to go down that route, have someone doing the social media stuff, but I just didn't. I still like to be a wee bit personal with it.
Connect with it.
I don't want just this constant spam of gig updates and stuff. It's quite boring for people to see. Mm-hmm. So I still like to have a bit of that personal touch if I do post, even if it's a shite post. So I'm not good at it, It's like, oh shit, man, it's the last 5 minutes of this gig. I've not had a back of the head shot yet. Can you take a picture
the
of these
gig never
people?
happened.
There's people there that need to. I need to show people that I played this gig. If they don't see it, it never happened.
Exactly. That is it, and it does come with that. It's kind of mad.
So, do we get the next guest on, or do we couple of questions from the audience?
Well, a wee couple of questions for the audience would be great,
That'd
just
be
so we
cool
can put the pressure on you guys. Don't.
Harvey Mackay's banned from asking questions, by the way.
So anyone at all, if anyone's got anything, there we go, Graham.
Graham.
Yeah, my agent takes care of everything. So my booking agency, they look after everything. They'll organise the flights. They'll organise the.
It doesn't have a booking agent.
It doesn't have a booking agent. If they're being booked to play abroad, do you mean? I think you can do anything to get abroad to start with. You'll pay your own flights. You'll do anything.
I think
at the beginning,
at the start,
you just kind of like. That's where an agent is good, obviously, because they'll do it all legally and stuff like that. I think if I was to speak to someone just personally, I wouldn't know what I was talking about, and like, yeah, exactly. And when the first kind of gigs came in Europe for me, I didn't know what I was doing. I had to get someone to kind of like speak to those people because I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. But if you get a good feeling about the offer that's been put in front of you, do it. Just
go for it.
Just go.
I think ultimately it's a good problem to have if you're in that position where you potentially have something on the horizon.
In that way, an agent will be interested somewhere because that's what they're interested in, is representing an artist.
I mean, just going back, one of my first gigs was in Amsterdam, and they paid a Ryanair flight over, but they didn't pay for any hotel or nothing. I spent the night on the floor of this guy who was just absolutely out his nut. And I don't know why, like, I just didn't care. The fact that I was there and I was doing it, that's all that mattered to me. So, yeah, that was absolutely everything to me. But then, of course, when you start getting busy and you're playing more, you think, actually, I'd like a bed. That would be good.
Oh, there he is, going a diva now.
Where's my bed?
That's it. But that is the beautiful thing about watching it organically grow, though, where you go from being a really underground amateur artist or whatever to, oh shit, I've got a song out there. Oh shit, this DJ supported it. What the hell's going on? I mean, and then it just naturally, so great quiz. Any other questions at all? Oh, we've got a few, so Craig?
It's that good old one of having a balance. Definitely for me, my family's been very important. I do like I'll do like 2 days in the studio and spend the rest of the time just doing other things, just taking my mind off, leaving my phone off, just going down to the beach or going out playing football, anything. I think my wife she's not interested in techno at all. Like so it's quite a good kind of contrast, you know. You're full of production, making music and stuff, and then next minute it's just you're doing completely opposite things. And I think that's been really, really good for me. Also, another thing is I try not to change my setup too much. I don't chase the newest technology that much. I'm not like.
We were talking about that in the podcast. Actually, we were pretty surprised.
You know that thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. I've kept almost the same setup I've had for the last 10 years. So a mixture of just like that, adding the odd little thing into the production side of things, but definitely taking your mind off completely what you're doing and just doing other things. I think that's really helped me in the long run.
Would you say that routine you've got dialed down has not changed much then? So you do like a couple of days studio?
A couple of days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and Monday's just spending time just doing anything but music, you know, and Tuesday, Wednesday music, Thursday, just other things, you know, and I think that's definitely helped in the longevity of just keeping it going, really, I would say.
What you're saying there about, you know, not changing the stuff you're using probably adds to your trademark sound as well, because you're not
to be told that you've got a trademark sound is such a good thing, because it's so hard to find that as a producer. That's key, to find that so that someone can go, that's Stevie.
You've got to put a track on and go, that's a Harvey Mackay track.
I don't want to start losing that, you know. I've heard lots of producers in the past who've had a great sound, but they've just been totally chasing the newest technology, and the sound is kind of gone. That lovely essence that they used to have. Not the same for all producers. I mean, some they thrive in technology, but for me, I'm just quite happy with the simplicity of what I use, and I try not to think about the whole thing too much. You know, like a lot of people, it's like everything, you know. But I try and just still treat it as a hobby. And I think
that's the best approach.
I try and treat it. Try and enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it.
See, I want to see just quickly, guys. See if you treat it like a hobby, you don't overload it with like expectations.
Massive
really.
pressures.
No.
I think when you do that, you start to kind of lose sight of what you started
again,
it for.
And that's where you can go off the rails, but you can lose your way a wee bit.
Off the beaten track.
If you're doing something and you're constantly focusing on what other people are doing on social media, you can just end up getting yourself in a total mess.
Not doing anything.
Of just trying to chase, and then you're like, and then you become someone that you're not, and then you lose yourself. So you've got to stick to your core.
One question I want to ask all these, I know there's a couple other questions, we'll maybe take another 2 or 3. I'm going to sneakily get one in first.
For fuck's sake.
One I want to ask all of you guys, out with techno, what are you listening to?
I love a lot of Scottish traditional music. I listen to a lot of kind of just got like great bands like Scary Vor and stuff like that. I don't know. I love Scotland a lot, and I love all that traditional stuff. I listen to some band stuff and just general kind of orchestral stuff.
Very cool.
I wouldn't say I like bang techno in the car every day. I mean, sometimes you turn up at gigs and the drivers just get the banging techno and you're just like, turn that off, man.
Yeah.
Save it for the club.
I can do it all night the night. You know, but I think that's really important.
It's important to listen to a lot of different things, you know.
Right. We'll do another question,
Yeah, a couple more. So, yes.
Good question.
So was anyone mentoring him in the beginning?
No, not at the beginning. I'd say that my mum was a brilliant influence. Like, she loves techno. Like, she's just... she'd be sitting in her joint like that. Gary, that's shit, man. She even to this day, like, I'll still go over tracks with my mum, you know, like, I'll still play her some stuff. She's got a great ear for it, you know, she really knows her stuff. So she kind of, at the beginning, would tell me, look, this is rubbish or something like that, or she'd say that's good, you know. And I could always tell when it was good because she'd have her eyes closed and she'd have the headphones and she'd just be gone, you know. And I think, yes, it's a good one. And most of the time turned out to be successful tracks, you know. So, but I didn't actually have anyone in terms of like, I've never had a manager. I've never had anything like that. I've just had my agent, the same agent for the last like 10 years, but no one at the beginning really.
So basically, anybody that's making techno, send it to your mom if we get the go-ahead.
Yep.
Then you know you've got a winner.
Although she says there's too many fake acid lines going on in the tracks nowadays.
Listen, I'm inclined to listen. She knows, man. She knows, and she's not wrong. Right, we had someone at the back there. Yep. Good question. Tough one.
Yeah, real tough one. I was just like, I did this thing, I touched on it in the last time I was on. I was doing this thing where I was collecting old vinyl and just like sampling wee bits. And I just started to kind of go from there. I wasn't really listening to too much what was going on. I was just sticking to exactly what I liked. And like with the old vinyls and taking wee kind of samples and then distorting it and changing it and doing my own wee thing with it.
It's awesome.
That kind of helped me a wee bit. Some of the earlier tracks, they had wee strange samples that maybe a lot of people wouldn't have tried. But I think you've just got to have the feeling and just go with it and just believe what you're doing, you know, and just go with the mistakes as well, you know. If there's a wee mistake in there, just keep it in if you think it sounds all right. Don't copy too much.
What about you as well, Steve? What would you say to that?
I just think like if you love it, you're going to do it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to need to just put the hours in. It's like some crazy 10,000 hours they say you need to put in or whatever, like to get to a position. It just depends on everyone, but it's just start. Get the headphones on, do an hour a night, even if it's shite, whatever. Just do it. Yeah. Just do an hour or two if you can manage. You know, it's a bit like the gym or whatever. You just go and grit your teeth, go for it. It's so weird as well. Even though you're passionate about it, sometimes you resist the thing you're passionate about. You know, you put it off or whatever else. But you just got to grit your teeth, get the laptop open, headphones in, and smash it out. I think.
I agree.
So
I think we should get Rebecca.
I think we should get Rebecca on. Put her right on the spot there now. Right, Rebecca. So, Gary,
I'll do the Graham Norton thing and move up.
You move up.
Do that.
Okay. You move up. But I want you to still chime in whenever you see it. So this is us doing some cool stuff. Me and Rebecca have got quite similar music tastes, and it's been awesome because Rebecca recently has joined the SKapade team. So she comes out and delivers some of the workshops with us, working with young people. And she's got a whole different spin coming from the sort of jazz community, right? Whereas the other guy, she's sandwiched right in between techno today, right? But
techno sandwich.
And that was us at the Resonate as well, which is another great thing where we all kind of collaborate. So, troops, can we give a nice warm welcome to Rebecca Vasmant?
I'm for once nervous.
Rebecca Vasmant. So me and Rebecca always have a bit of a laugh because I'm half Italian, she's French, half French, so we always hit each other with Italian and French patter. And we love a pan of chocolat as well, don't we?
We do. We do.
So, Rebecca, how you doing? I know you're a wee bit nervous, don't worry, everybody's nice.
I'm quite nervous. I don't want to look. I'm just going to look up there.
Yeah, just look up there. Look directly into the light. So, Rebecca, how are you, firstly, and what is going on? Congrats on all the worldwide FM new slots.
That's huge.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm really happy and grateful that they gave me the opportunity. And you know when you just feel like, is this real? Is this actually my life right now?
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now a little bit. So that is good. That's a good thing.
Right, so we're at the most up-to-date point. Let's go back. Right?
Okay.
What's young Rebecca all about, and how did this all happen? Where did you get the idea to go, do you know what, I want to be involved in music?
Well, so I've got a big brother, and he was like my cool big brother. He was like a skateboarder, and he was into like hip hop and all this. And he was like my exotic half French big brother that grew up in France. And he gave me all these old hip hop tapes, and I started to get really into hip hop when I was about 13 or 14. So I decided I thought I wanted to do radio. And then I went and did a radio production course, and I realised actually it's not talking about the music that I want to do, it's like actually playing the music. So I bought decks with my student loan, as every student does. Didn't buy food, ate pasta and butter. Actually, pasta and butter is pretty good.
As I say, Italians do have it as well.
Yeah, so bought decks for my student loan, and it was really annoying, right? Because I had this male flatmate at the time, and I got the decks home and all that, and I bought like a little pile of records, and he learned how to do it in 2 weeks, like how to mix in 2 weeks, and it took me 6 months, and I was like crying every night. It's like, why can't I do it? So it didn't come naturally, and it wasn't an easy thing. So like I think one of the things now that I love is that I found it really, really difficult. It didn't come easy, and none of like getting to where I am now has been easy by any means, but that's made it more. I'm more happy now, if you know what I mean.
It's really important though, and again, going back to the whole being resilient and working at it every day, you know, that there you go, someone did it in 2 weeks, so that could really put you off. That could really go, do you know what, I'm totally doing the wrong thing.
No,
here.
it did. I thought, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why can't I do this? Like, what? I don't even understand like what it is I'm trying to do, but I know that I'm trying to mix two tunes together, but I don't know how to do that. Because at the time I didn't have any friends who were DJs, and there wasn't really like YouTube tutorials out yet at that point.
There couldn't have been too many female DJs at the time either.
No, there wasn't. I was living in Edinburgh at the time, and I think I was probably one of two. And when I first moved to Glasgow, there was me, I think. Was that an alias? Was that an alias? Yeah, sorry, there was me and me.
Right, okay.
But now there's loads, and it's amazing, and it's like really, really positive. But there is still a sense of like sticking out somehow. Like, for example, when I was standing back there, all the SKapade team are all boys, and obviously I love you guys.
Yeah, of course.
But you all are boys. So,
hence getting yourself involved, and
token,
obviously
better not be a token
there's
count.
Claire as well. And the thing is, this is something we're trying to develop and work on. You know, you're absolutely bang on. I think for us, we obviously as a team look past gender in the sense of we're just looking for people that are passionate and love what they're doing. But, you know, it's an important point, and I think the industry as a whole, though, is definitely changing, I would say. So, so first off, so you learned to mix 6 months into this hell, right?
Yeah.
You've learned how to finally mix these tunes, right?
Yeah.
So what actually drove you to keep doing it? Because obviously you could go psychotic after that and just go, do you know what, I'm leaving this. And, you know, what happened? What started happening?
Well, I think I'd started going clubbing by that point. And at the time, the music that I was into was like mostly techno, funnily enough, since it's the polar opposite of what I kind of do now. And yeah, so I was really into techno. I was going out to techno nights in Edinburgh, and I just kind of thought, right, do you know what? I'm just going to like record a mix and just give it to this promoter that like I kind of had been introduced to. And I gave it to him, and he called me up a week later and went, do you want a slot in the back room? And I played, and then he said, do you want to do it every week? Because it was a weekly night, and it was at this club called Cabaret Voltaire, and it was on a... Yeah, it was really good. And it was on a Tuesday night every week. The main room was drum and bass, and the back room was techno. And that was my first residency. So that's kind of like where I learned to DJ in that club, I guess, really. And the first gig that I ever took, I just need to tell everyone, was at this club called Beetroot in Edinburgh, and I wasn't ready yet, and I completely bombed it. And to this day, people are like, I think I saw you in Edinburgh. You were really bad. Really? Was it you? You were. That was awful. I'm like, yep, that was me.
Just for remembering that one time.
So yeah.
Right, so you've been in there, right, and then obviously, right, so you've done that, then you've been in some of these other places because, I know your story because we know each other, so talk about a little bit about when the whole ministry thing kind of happened, because you were young and it was like, again, you didn't have an agent or anything, so you kind of got yourself into a couple of situations, but also it helped as well, didn't it? Yeah,
well, so then I was doing the residency in Edinburgh, and I started getting a couple of gigs in Glasgow, and I was like coming to Glasgow, and it was like the big city, and it was all exciting, and people were just sounder than they were in Edinburgh. Love anyone from Edinburgh. You're great. Love you, by the way. We love Edinburgh.
But
however, so I decided. One of my friends called me up and said, "We've got a room in this flat. Do you want to come?" So I moved to Glasgow, and I was on Facebook one day. And someone got in touch saying, we're running this DJ agency and we're looking for like a new resident for a club. It didn't say what club it was or any details. Can you make us a mix? And I was like, sure. So I made a mix and I sent it over. And then I got a phone call from a London number like a week later. Hi, this is Gareth from Ministry of Sound. Could you come to London, please, for a meeting? And I was like, what? What for? It's about that mix you sent, yeah? We had all these people dancing around tables. And I was like, okay. So, no, I'm not actually...
Sounds like a movie.
Dancing round tables?
No, he said dancing around their desks or whatever. Right. Not like actual tables. So then it was just like really weird, and like weird in a good way, but like I went down, and then there was like this man there that was like, I'm going to be your booking agent. And this other man's like, I'm going to be your tour manager. And this other man's like, I'm going to be this. And I'm like, okay, you're the new resident of Ministry of Sound, yeah. And basically, literally a week later, I was like on a tour of India doing 6 days, like 5 days later. And I was like, for the next year I did, was it 2 years I was doing ministry or 1 year? Because like, by the way, I need to tell everyone, me and Gary at that time have this game called Zoom In on text message. And when we were bored in hotels, we would just text each other pictures of ourselves.
Just to change the subject a wee bit.
Yeah, just pictures of ourselves pulling funny faces. Anyway, I digress. So basically, yeah, just the ministry sound thing. I think over the course of 2 years, it was like just loads of countries all around the world. And then they asked me to play music that was a bit more accessible. So I kind of had a bit of a moral dilemma, and I had to really sit down and think about what I wanted for my career. At one point I played a gig in Ibiza, and it was for like a rapper at the time that was in the charts, and like the rapper's agent like asked me to be their tours DJ, and like my, at the time, like agent said, like, what's that going to entail? And it was literally pretending to scratch on decks, wearing like a low-cut dress, basically.
That sounds cool.
No, like literally. So I didn't accept the job.
Good on you.
And then I pretty much lost my residency quite soon after that. So I think it was a matter of they wanted to carve me into something, and also like a lot
of people would just go yes.
I was 22. I was a young,
right.
I was young. I was naive, and they wanted to carve me into something. And I think that because even already at that age, like I didn't want to be marketed. Like obviously, I'm a girl, right? I needed to have my wits about me. I played electronic music at the time, and I didn't want to be marketed in an overly sexualized way, because once that happens, that's it. That's happened. You're always going to be seen that way. Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
So I chose not to do that. Thanks. So actually, I realised I had a bit of a dip and actually went through a period of grief, because I went from travelling all over the world, getting picked up with like guys in suits and chauffeur-driven cars, and it was all a bit obscene because it wasn't really about me, it was about the Ministry of Sound brand. But being 22, you just say, oh, this is amazing, it's a dream come true. So I had a period of grief because I'd made this decision, and I thought, have I really made the right decision? I've lost all of this. Like, I'm not travelling, I'm not. So I just picked myself back up and started running a club night in Glasgow and booked DJs from like you know, all over the place. And it was like, at the time, just house stuff. And I just booked stuff that I really liked and believed in. And yeah, I guess that was probably about 9 years ago. And it's been a bit of a journey ever since to get to where I am now.
But you don't regret it now?
No, I don't regret it. I'm really glad that I didn't make the decision that I made. I'm really glad that I did make the decision that I made at the time. But it was difficult, and it was really a hard couple of years, because it went from here to like nothing.
And you must have found that, especially with social media now, like, you know, you have to look a certain way, you know, for like, you know, females coming up in the industry. It must be quite a stressful time out there, because you're wanting to make something of the career, and you're left for this to take the money or struggle for another
that's it
10 years, you know.
You know that, and that's the thing though. It's like you can now kind of look back and be happy that you'd made that decision at the time. Yeah. Which again is not an easy thing to do, because if you're then, you know, like, oh, we're going to give you X amount of money, you know where it's coming from, you know you're living a kind of dream life, but it's not a dream life if it's total fakery. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, like a lot of the gigs that I would do for that brand were completely wrong for my music. So they took me on, and under the kind of like, we want a resident who plays more underground music, but every gig was just
like commercial stuff.
Yeah, the people on before and after me, it was like, no offense to Rihanna at all, but it was like trance remixes of Rihanna and stuff. And because I played like house music, it just wasn't right. It was wrong curation. So for that reason, it was wrong, but now it's not anymore. So I'm happy.
It's interesting because now music is so much more accessible, and it's like there is something to be said about kind of trying to keep it as unique as possible.
Would that be your advice for someone?
Well,
you know, follow what's in your own heart.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think like the best decision that I've ever made in my entire life was that day when they called me up and said, are you willing to change the style of your music? And also the very first photo shoot that I ever had for that brand, where I was presented with a wardrobe and I just refused to wear the clothes. And to this day, I'm grateful, because those pictures would have still been online. So, and they were like low cut, sequins, sparkly dresses, and they wanted to put like loads of... I know I've got loads of makeup on right now, guys, by the way, but that's because I'm old. But I wasn't old at the time. So yeah, basically, I think those decisions were the best ones I made. And yeah, just like being true to what you believe in within yourself, like musically. Because obviously, like...
Absolutely.
You were
Gary's
saying
a testament to that.
Yeah,
as
like,
well,
so Gary was saying you've been consistent in the style of music that you've done and you've never changed, and that's because it's what you're passionate about. And I think for me it was about having the confidence to do what I'm passionate about, which is what I'm doing now, and it's taken a long time, but I'm here. So basically anyone who's starting out, just don't be pressured to play a certain thing. Just do exactly what it is that you want to do, and then you'll fall into the right scene. Do you know what I mean?
There's been times like where I thought to myself, oh, maybe I should be going down that route because they're doing it. And when I maybe started to venture into that territory, I didn't enjoy what I was doing, you know.
It's almost you have to try it as well to then realise, like, oh, no, wait a minute. I'm
Drag
not
it back and realise why you fell in love with it in the first place.
Aye.
You know?
Yeah. I think another round of questions would be great, just timing-wise would be ideal. If there's anybody with a question for Rebecca.
Oh, he tours the world now.
The flatmate that learned to mix has got a lovely family and lives in the country and just never did anything with DJing, but he's happy and I'm really grateful for him. But he didn't do anything with music, so...
Still a slight bit of rage there.
No, honestly not. No, not at all.
I mean, one of the things I would like to ask you is like, what can musicians do to work together to help grow? Because I think one of the things, it's easy to just get so on your own, but if you can pair up with someone or other brands and get you sharing their stuff, they're sharing your stuff, so what can musicians do to work together? And that kind of goes for both of you.
Be pals.
Yeah.
Support each other.
I don't know, I've worked with quite a lot of artists in the scene. Some of it's worked and some of it's not worked at all. And I came to the conclusion actually, for me personally, I enjoy working by myself a little bit. I don't know why, but I do, you know.
So, for me, sometimes I'm really vibing when I've got someone there beside me. It's like a joint brain. I don't know. There's just a dynamic at times, but then other times you want the focus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I went through a phase around 2010. I worked with a couple of people that I genuinely loved working with. It was great fun, but then it kind of separated a wee bit, and then I worked with a couple of other people, and it put me off.
What happened? Come on, tell all. Name names, tell all.
They just stood there doing nothing.
That's funny.
When I was like, I don't know, I didn't. I think it's nice if you can work with someone. You can bounce ideas off each other, and you're like, wow, that's a great idea and stuff like that. But I think I was working with too many people who were not offering anything to the table, and it put me off a wee bit, and I started.
It's got to be a two-way thing.
You've got to complement each other. If someone's great on keys and synthesis, whereas somebody's great on drums, then you might have a.
But if there's
great
someone there
partnership.
that's just there for the I'll claim that as my track as well. Nah, go away.
But I mean, I say, Rebecca, you've probably got a bit of a different approach because you have collaborations all the time, and you have people in the flat and all that. I mean, your Instagram's great.
Yeah, it's kind of different because, like, I'm really at the beginning of my journey as a producer. Like, I've just finished my first album, and actually, I really enjoyed listening to what you guys said because
it's a great album, by the way.
Oh, you listened to it, didn't you? Oh, yeah. So I sent him it. I forgot about that. So I've just finished my first album, and it's got now where it stands now, it's got 17 musicians on it, and because I'm a massive jazz fan, but I'm also a house and techno fan, I wanted to make a record that reflected that, and I've sent it to so many labels, and I've got so many knockbacks, and I'm still working through my emotions surrounding that, and it is now looking like it's going to be signed to a label that I actually didn't even think would ever even listen to it, so that's great. But it's been a really emotional roller coaster of like a year and a half, because since I finished it, it's quite hard to put yourself out there and then just be like, I've made this record. Because for me, it's got like my lyrics in it and like horn arrangements and strings and all that kind of stuff that I'm really not qualified to have done, but I did anyway. So I'm like, is this wrong? Is it like, does it make sense? Like, it sounds okay to me, so...
I think it's important that if it sounds good, it doesn't matter, does it?
But
If you love it, other people will love it.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what they like.
That's one of the beauties of having your own label, I guess. You know, you can put out stuff if you know, you can send it away and maybe you've got your own label to fall back on a wee bit, but sometimes your own label can't offer what certain other labels can do. The weight. Yeah, exactly.
I wish I had a DJ partner, though. I've never had one. Any takers?
To be honest, you and Big Gal should maybe do a wee couple of
yeah,
sets
no,
together.
We have spoke about it, and again, it's like even for anyone in here as well, if you do sort of come across someone that's got similar outlooks or similar music tastes, because me and Rebecca will workshops together, and you know, sometimes we'll trade tune for tune. We'll be like, what the hell is that? What is that? You know, and there's nothing more exciting than that. So it's like, if you come across someone else like that, you should definitely work with them. Because you just don't know what might come of it. Now, we've got a wee 5 minutes before we're going to have a wee break.
By the way, if anyone's hungry, I've ordered 15 of the best pizzas.
I'm starving.
So everyone can get a wee slice.
Couple of wee slices.
5 vegan, 5 vegetarian, 5 meat. So
I don't know if that'll go around everyone, though.
I think it should. There's about maybe 6 slices each box.
Yeah.
There should be enough, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Or you need to be quick.
Yeah.
Get right in there.
And also, if I could weirdly ask Sam as well, when we do have a wee break, if you don't mind playing some tunes again, Sam. Sorry about that.
Jack's here.
Jack's here as well, so that's fine. We can take the buck
James
off.
Slavin's here as well.
Also, folks, if he's preachers will be outside, if he's one of these amazing t-shirts, beautiful Techno black.
Aye. Support the cause.
Excellent, yeah, support the cause. We did do it again.
They're only 20 quid. Come and see me. They'll be at the back of the wee.
He's not actually joking.
Some man, James.
He's not joking. Thank you for that shameless plug. Yes.
Aye.
No,
Thank
big
you,
love
James.
to James. Thank you. Yeah, so no, but again, if you do want to support the cause and you do want a wee t-shirt, that would be great. And again, please, I'm encouraging you while you're here to get pictures, to get sharing this stuff, because as I say, it's the very, very first one we've done. So this is a big, big moment for us. We've dreamt of doing an event like this.
Everyone, round of applause for Stephen and
Yes,
Stephen.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So, hopefully you've enjoyed it so far. Are we enjoying it so far? Something different in it? That's
not bad.
Because I'm actually not. No, I'm glad that everyone came along. So, do we have any more questions just to wrap up before the break?
A wee
And then we're
question
going to have a
before
wee
the
break, have a wee slice, get a wee chat, some tunes, and then we're going to get Monsieur Harvey on, who I'm sure is going to bring a nice ball of energy, and I can't wait to hear from him. So, just to put you on the spot, there we go.
Answer first. No. I think that I know within a few hours if it's working or not, if it's worth pursuing, and if it's not working, I'll wrap it up and put it in a folder for another day, and then move quickly on to the next one. And who knows what's going to happen with that? It could be good, could be another wrap it up and put it away. But I'll sometimes go back to those ones I've put away and something good will happen. Other times it just goes in the bin. So, yeah.
Does it go in the actual bin or do you keep it?
The bin.
The bin, right.
The bin.
The wheelie, the green bin. We've got a question here, yeah?
For me, I find that after a lot of tracks have come together in about a couple of hours, really, really quickly. And I find that these are the ones that are the best ones, the ones that you're just right in the moment and it's there. But the ones where I'm still dragging on, I would say about 5 hours or something. Like, I would say if I'm still working away at it, trying different things and it's not working, I'd say, aye, yeah. But yeah, the best ones I think have come in about 2-3 hours, I would say. Quick.
Madness, and it is quick. The thing is, though, it's like that might just be Gary's process, because people do go through different ones.
Everyone does it completely.
We know some people that'll sit 6 months on the same track and they won't get sick of it, and it's like
it'll change into multiple tracks though, but it's the same project. That's the risk. It'll change the kick bass line.
I think with techno, techno's always been about simplicity. I think you get it's all about the energy and the vibe in that initial idea, and you keep that going and keep it rolling. There's an art in looping music. I've heard music where it's just been loopy and it's really boring loopy, but then there's loopy stuff that just keeps you interested the whole way, and there's an art in that. A lot of people just say, "Oh, techno, just loopy rubbish." We'll try and make one then that's going to keep you interested. It's actually quite hard. I had quite a big tech house DJ tell me that I'm doing a cop out by not going down the tech house funky route, and I'm copping out by making techno stuff, and
Who is it? Easy's number.
no chance, man.
Name
No
names.
chance.
Phone him in live on stage.
I thought to myself, you try and make it, yeah.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Right, so we'll
Time for a wee drink, I think.
Time for a wee
pizzas
break.
will hopefully be out there if they're on time. So I go and relax for a wee bit, and we'll be back.